Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren. I talk astrology and tarot-ish, and I'm also an art ritual facilitator. Some of those videos are soon to come for those of you who might be interested in that work, but of course you can find links to that as well through the things down below. Anyway, you came here because I also sometimes review tarot decks. I am an avid collector, so I don't know how many I have, but I have a lot. And I actually want to give a big shout out because I just came into owning another deck. The creator, Empty and Amazing Heather, put together a little care package for me, and so I wanted to give them a shout out real quick because now I have the Tarot of Plants. This is an amazing deck. I've already started to explore it. I will definitely be sharing a little bit more once I have worked with it more because I don't like to just give a flat, oh, this is good, or this is bad, or this is whatever, without having properly integrated and worked with this. And because this deck has some different interpretations, different ways of looking at tarot, as plants, it's going to take me a little bit to integrate this wisdom and magic. I am interviewing the creator of this amazing deck on Monday, and I am super excited to share that. I also have a podcast link down below. Listen and find out. But with that said, we are here for this beautiful deck, the Holy Spectrum. This is a deck that I have wanted to review the moment I got it. So this is just the box. This is the box. This is the beautiful thing. Let's just get started. First and foremost, I'm not going to be rating tarot decks how I used to. I feel like that is a little too extreme of a vetting process, and so I am just going to be giving you final thoughts without a number to go off of, because numbers are arbitrary and this is just my opinion, so who fucking cares anyway, right? Let me just be upfront and tell you what I think. But anyway, this is the beautiful deck box that it comes in, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is a great deck. I love the box. The box is very secure. This doesn't open up for anybody except when you're intentionally trying to open it, which I think is really important. And inside it says Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. And that like holographic look, created by Chase Voorhees. I want to say that, yes, that's probably how it's pronounced. Second edition, first printing, 2020, Chase Voorhees LLC, all rights reserved. So it's a very clean, beautiful box. The only problem with this box is I'm not going to throw this box in my purse because it's so pretty. It's not one of the decks that I would just personally take out and about because I don't want anything bad to happen to it. It's very pretty. So it actually lives mostly right now. I, of course, rotate my tarot decks out throughout my house, but right now this deck is in a glass case because they're works of art, and sometimes you just want to, excuse me, display art rather than you put your hands on it every day, which is, neither here or there. That's just a personal preference. I'm going to swap it out eventually. It was in my studio, and I was using it for videos last year, so I just tend to rotate around. So right now, it's out of rotation, but I've still worked with it quite a bit to talk about it. So let's talk about it. So the Holy Spectrum looks like this. First of all, can we appreciate a good matte black? A matte black, like just the most basic and profound vibes for me. I'm all about it. I will be honest, I at first was not a huge fan of the art of this deck, and that's why I kind of waited. But the more I saw, the more I loved, and the more I heard other tarot readers using it and seeing them like utilize it in really profound ways was like, okay, there's something here, I just don't know yet. It's also very matte black on the sides. We love to see a vibe. The vibe is present. The vibe is very present. So the Holy Spectrum, right? Where's the color? You'll find out. Well, let's just dive in. The Holy Spectrum is a really interesting deck. I've talked about the Hermit from this deck before. I love the Hermit in this deck. You'll see some color coding when it comes to certain things within the deck, but I'll say this, I'm not really a color-coded person myself. I don't really need that out of a deck. Love this Ace of Pentacles. I might like, hello. A great Ace of Pentacles vibe. It kind of feels futuristic, like gamer vibes to me, but I'm here for it. Like I said, I wasn't like a huge fan at first, but the more I saw, the more I loved. So you'll see that the wands in this deck for these folks in the court cards, they're all green, whereas cups, really cute, right? Queen of Cups, love the representation here. Love the interpretation of these cards. Maybe not representation, but interpretation. The interpretation of these cards is really profound. Moon, so perfect. We had a Pisces new moon last night. Ooh, the star of this one is really good. This like resting and just recharging. So you'll see the colors in here are really interesting. There's a lot of graphic sort of design going on here, which I think is great. Temperance in this deck. Of course, this is the second edition. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't get first edition because I would have liked to see compare and contrast the first and second edition because there are changes that were made. And I can tell there were changes that were made because I've seen people post their complete collections of this deck. This is Two of Wands. How perfect is that? So if I am correct, and I'm pretty sure I am, but of course if I'm not, tell me. But this is the partner of Lindsay Mack. I'm 100% on that. But I'm always questioning myself. I'm a Virgo moon. So Lindsay Mack is, of course, someone that I have taken some of her courses. I find her interpretation of tarot incredibly riveting, incredibly nurturing, inclusive. Just like, I'm fangirling a little bit, but just really badass, right? Like, I really love Lindsay Mack. So I feel like the interpretation coming through these cards really does remind me of some of the work that Lindsay Mack does. And I think, honestly, once I found out that this was Lindsay Mack's partner, I was like, okay, I kind of need this deck. So, you know, that tells you where my priorities live. I love the devil in this one. All of these negative affirmations, all of these negative things to say to yourself. I can't, I have to, why even try, should, self-doubt. It's perfect for the devil. It's perfect because what are our limiting beliefs that cause us to feel constricted from like the truth of who we are? So again, I've learned so much from Lindsay Mack. I feel that her teachings come through these cards, even though it's not made by her per se. It's like you can tell that they have a similar belief system in their tarot, and so that's coming through effortlessly and just really interestingly. The colors of these cards are vivid and beautiful. Pentacles, we see a lot of the yellow for this court set. And yeah, as far as are there a lot of representation here? It's kind of hard to say. You don't really see a lot of body variety necessarily, but is that the worst thing? I'm starting to back off of that extreme that I want to see more diversity all the time and just kind of, like for this style, I feel like it's very much just kind of open. And like you can project a lot of different people onto these cards, and that's kind of the beauty of it. So I'm really a big fan of this deck. I really love the Fool. I really love the journey that we go on. You get a extra just blank card in case you lose anything. I like to leave those in there just because unless it's unless it has information on it, sometimes I take those out. Personal preference. Big fan of this representation of this card. I love Nine of Pentacles. That's a big card for me. So I really like that interpretation. Again, these cards take very classic interpretations and really just make them a little bit more interesting, a little bit more nuanced, and kind of pushes them in a way that I think really helps us as readers utilize the visuals in a way that doesn't keep us stuck in interpretations that don't necessarily support us. And so because of that, I would have to say this is an amazing deck. Buy it. If it's your first deck ever, I don't think it would be a bad choice. I think it would be honestly a great first deck for anyone. Here's the downside that you might have. This deck doesn't have any like cards or anything to help you, which is fine. Like I said, I say this all the time. I actually really love that part of this deck, that it doesn't come with a little like cheat sheet. Like, I will say it a million times over. I don't think they're helpful. I think they're very limiting and like narrow-sighted. They don't assist us in like evolving our conversations around certain cards. The only thing that might get you a little confused as a baby witch using tarot, the Judgment card is Awakening. Now, why would this throw you off? I feel like it's important to see Judgment as Judgment. Not to say that this is wrong, but if you're starting your journey into tarot, I just wonder if this would like throw you off. So that's the only like caveat to, oh yeah, if this is your first deck, grab it. Because the truth is, because this deck really sticks with a lot of like imagery that is similar and deeply tied to the like Smith-Waite deck or Morgan Greer tarot, these really classic depictions, I think it's within the right frame of mind. Oh my gosh, High Priestess. That's all. I think these are great cards to use. I don't think it's a problem. It's just something to be aware of. And I think ultimately, if you're new to tarot, this is a great deck to start with because it's not going to be super hard to read. Like, all tarot is a little challenging, right? When you're first getting into it, you're going to have some hurdles to jump over as far as understanding what these cards mean and why. But I'll tell you this. There are a lot of cards that might be really confusing, a lot of decks, I mean, that might be really confusing to you as a baby witch. Ultimately, this is so enough connected. Oh, Two of Cups is so good. So deeply connected to what is already there. You're not going to have a really hard time integrating a lot of really good wisdom. So I really highly recommend this deck. Yeah, let me know what you think down below. I think, you know, when it comes to representation, there's really only one deck out there that has the most across the board represented out of there. I don't actually have that deck. I'm going to look into buying that deck though soon because I would love to use it in my practice and integrate its wisdoms for myself. But either way, what do you think of this deck? Have you used it? Have you seen it? Do you love it? I'm a huge fan of it. And in fact, I might do a collective reading soon using this deck just because it is so easy to read. I love this interpretation of Six of Cups. It's really, really good. Really super fascinating. Also, Four of Wands. Really good interpretation of that card as well because we're seeing such a space of liberation and freedom. If you are a fan, tell me why. If you're not, tell me why. I'd love to know. And with that said, thank you so much for joining me. This is some of the cards, some of the beautiful interpretations. of this amazing experience that is the tarot. Ooh, Queen of Wands is beautiful. So yeah, this is my overall takeaway. Buy this deck if you don't have it. I think you're gonna have a great time. It's good for all the vibes. It's easy to read. The imagery is gorgeous. And yeah, I hope you had, oh, Page of Cups. We even have the fish from the classic representation. Love that. I love that playful energy that's still there. So yeah, this is a great evolution of a very old tool. So yeah, with that said, check out all of these videos that are popping up around my head. I will be using this deck that just got to me because wow, wow, wee, wah, it's amazing and I can't wait to utilize it in my practice. And let me know what decks you're loving right now and what decks you feel like I should talk about next. This is a great deck. I really don't have much to say other than looky. How cool is that? Dope shit, my dudes. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you check out all the links down below. I have a merch store where you can get my Happy Pluto Return shirt or Hail Saturn because Saturn is my daddy and he told you to buy. Anyway, I love you so much. Bye.